I think the uniqueness and the timeliness of this series with Lifeway really speaks to our times, in that the job of the Christian church is to make sure Christianity connects up well with the questions our culture is asking about the faith. People in the 2nd century had different questions about the Christian faith. They were worried that Christians were atheists because they didn't worship the emperor, that they were cannibals because they didn't quite understand the communion service. Well, people don't have those kinds of questions today, do they? And I think where the church has failed is we don't even really know what the questions are people in our own churches are asking. And I'm talking about the 98% of people that fill our churches every week, the good, faithful people. They have many questions. And I think where this study is so strong is it provides exactly what the church needs today: tools and answers to these seemingly unanswerable questions. At Christian Thinker Society, our mission has always been to teach Christians to become thinkers and thinkers to become Christian. And I got actually a question on my blog the other day that said, a Christian thinker, is that an oxymoron? Well, for some Christians it is, sadly, because many Christians don't have a thinking faith. And I think if you polled most Christians today, they would be really honest and tell you that they don't feel resourced, they don't feel equipped to answer the questions that people are asking in their own Bible studies, in their own church family about the Christian faith. And so, we can all remember a time that we're on an airplane, or we're at a sporting event, or we're at a soccer moms gathering where we could have spoken up for the Christian faith, but we just didn't feel equipped. We didn't feel confident to answer those questions. And as a leader of Christian Thinker Society, I can tell you that I personally know scores and scores of people who have walked away from the faith because of an unanswered question. And so our job is to answer and be able to articulate the unanswerable questions of the Christian faith. I think the questions surface for this project, Unanswered, Lasting Truth for Trending Questions, really organically. They came right out of the church themselves. After receiving 4,000 questions at all of our different Christian Thinker Society events and online streaming, we aggregated the most frequently asked questions into 6 specific topics. And people are always surprised to find out what are the most frequently asked questions. People are not asking deep theological questions that you might think they're asking. Questions of suicide, questions of mental illness, questions of do ghosts exist, paranormal. We've even got comedic questions like, why do you say God bless you after you sneeze? Or the very first question I ever received was a young man who said, if God created everything and called it good, then why can't I smoke weed since God created it? So we get all kinds of questions. But we landed on these 6 questions organically because I think these are the questions people are grappling with the most today in the church. I mean, when you think about mental illness, 48% of the people in our church will have a personal experience themselves with mental illness sometime during their lifetime. 25%, a Lifeway statistic, 25% of our pastors themselves struggle with mental illness. Then we talk about paranormal and mediums, psychic phenomenon, and we think that 7 million young people, this is a David Kinnaman study, are struggling right now saying that they've had a personal experience with a demon. And then we bring up questions of the Bible. We have the smartest Christians of all time sitting in our churches, the most educated and the most successful, and yet they will tell you they are the most biblically ill-equipped, the most biblically illiterate. I mean, 25% of people polled in a recent study by the American Bible Society didn't realize that the truth shall set you free was a Bible verse. Several students that I've taught at the graduate level had trouble saying the name of the person that preached the Sermon on the Mount. Several thought it was Billy Graham or perhaps Mother Teresa. And so we have a problem. And you know what? I like to address these problems positively. The story of the Bible, of how we got it, is exciting. It's inspirational. When we talk about everything we wish we knew about the Bible and don't, I think this series brings those issues to light in a fabulous way. It's a great adventure. It's exciting. People are going to feel resourced and they're going to be equipped. Going out of this study, they're going to feel ready for those holiday get-togethers when these questions are asked to be able to speak confidently and articulately to answer these questions.